Hello, my friend, and welcome to the 497th episode of the Sales Podcast. I'm Wes Schaefer, the Sales Whisperer, your host. Today we have all the way from Jersey, Henry Kaminsky Jr. Great guy, great talk, highly energetic. You know, I've had a lot of people on talking about branding, and it goes back and forth when you look at this. I've often told small business owners, don't worry about a brand. You build a brand by being consistent, by delighting your customers, by delighting to the upside, A, B, C, D, E, right? Deliver that wow experience. That being said, you can build a brand. You should spend some time and energy on it, doing the things necessary to expand your presence. All right. You're trying to be everywhere, but the reality is be everywhere you can be realistically, effectively. You can't compete with McDonald's, right? You're not going to have a Goodyear blimp all over the place and have a NASCAR. I mean, so everything has to be taken with a grain of salt. You need to understand how it applies to you and your situation. You need to be everywhere your ideal customers are. If you don't know where they are, if you're trying to just firm things up and create some predictability in your business, grow your profitability, then be where your prospects are when they're in front of you. Be present. Observe. Pay attention. You know, the new ABCs are not always be closing. Always be curious. Always be concise. Always be courteous. All right, so what are you doing with your existing traffic? Every one of my clients, when I get started working with them, you know, quite often they'll say, oh, I want more traffic. Like, are you sure you are optimized and maximizing your conversions of your existing traffic? Because until you optimize that, then you're literally just wasting money. Okay, how many visitors turn into prospects? How many prospects are converted into leads? How many leads turn into appointments? How many appointments actually show up? How many of those appointments turn into a qualified demonstration, which turn into a proposal, which turn into closed won? Okay, how many of those are delivered on time? How many of those exceed your goals for your NPS score? How many of those become referrals and testimonials and repeat business? Okay, so if your money is tight, I'd recommend you tighten up everything you're working on, everything you're currently doing. You're in business, you're open, you're making money. So everybody's looking, the grass is always greener. Stop looking over the fence. Water your own grass. Once you've got this luscious lawn, it's optimized, it's popping, now spend on marketing. Now do focused branding. The reality is when you focus on all these internal things, you build a brand. People go out and talk about, wow, I dealt with this company. They were really great. They answered the phone quickly. They answered all my questions. They weren't pushy. We set up time to meet. They were early. They sent us information ahead of time. It was clear. We knew what the next steps were. The pricing was fair. They didn't try to nickel and dime us. They didn't have a lot of fine print. They delivered ahead of time, got us up and running quicker than we thought, on budget, blah, blah, blah. You're going to build a brand doing that. Okay, so again, both Henry and I are right. Okay, build the brand internally, then build the brand externally. Both are important. Okay, but if you don't have your systems in place and they aren't tight, and you spend money and people come to you and they have a bad experience, you literally just spent money to tell the world how bad you are. And that's the quickest way to go out of business. So if you need more help with that, maybe some one-on-one stuff, go to thesaleswhisperer.com. I've got a consultancy. I do that on a limited basis. It's one-on-one, right? It's me that you're getting, so it's just not unlimited. If you could benefit from semi-private in the Sell More of Everything group, check that out, sellmoreofeverything.com. Okay? A couple of affordable options for you there to grow your sales. Now, let's bring on Henry. Henry Kaminsky Jr., all the way from New Jersey. You want to productize the knowledge you have in your head? We do that. Welcome to the Sales Podcast, man. How the heck are you?
Wes, thanks for having me, man. What a blessing.
So you made me cry on your podcast. So now we're not done till you're in tears, man. It's gonna be like Oprah. All right, I'm gonna have you sobbing, snot bubbles. Okay, I'm changing the whole interview. So
I love it.
So funnel. So uniquedesigns.net. And it's designs with a Z. That is your business.
Yes, sir.
Branding plus sales funnels. So what the hell, man? Our funnels. Can I be honest with you? Can we just cut to the chase?
Please.
Our funnels played out everywhere I look. Funnel this, funnel that. Phone funnels, click funnels, funnel. I mean, I want a funnel cake. All right. What's all these funnels, dude? What the hell's going on?
Yeah, I think for the people that are trying to get rich quick, it's played out. For the folks that want to build a legitimate, sustainable business, they are the vehicle of choice to help you grab your audience's attention and guide them to a buying decision. And I am a firm believer of this. If done correctly, funnels will be a phenomenal way for you to scale revenues online or offline. Doesn't matter. But I truly believe that every business does need a funnel, but it's all about the approach, right? And I think to your point, Wes, funnels get a bad rap because of a lot of folks misusing them.
Okay.
We could talk about this. We can go as deep as you want.
Well, so what exactly is a funnel? I mean, in my opinion, it's rebranding. It's giving a name to nurturing, to just good business, right? Cast a wide net, sort, sift, separate, serve those who raise their hand. I mean, is that what we're doing?
Well, yes, you're doing all of the above, but you're doing it now in a sequence that is very intentional so that people know what to expect first, second, and third. So the conceptual view of a funnel is getting people to know, like, and trust you, right? We get that. That's elementary. The tactical or technical is a series of landing pages that guide people to a buying decision. Simple as that. And there's platforms out there, like you mentioned before, ClickFunnels. I'm loyal to ClickFunnels, but there's tons of them out there, Builderall and Kartra and all these other ones. I'm loyal to ClickFunnels is because Russell Brunson was a client of mine for a very, very long time. We have a great relationship, and there is, I'd rather stay put because of our relationship and it does what it needs to do for me, ClickFunnels, and there's no reason for me to leave. Okay. But the ways that you can build out funnels in this platform is easy for the tech savvy. And this is something that I'm definitely going to emphasize is if you think that you're going to build your own funnels, keep thinking. And I think that's where we get mixed up. I love ClickFunnels to death. It is a phenomenal tool. I recommend it to every one of my clients, but you shouldn't be the ones building your funnels. You should be staying in your lane doing what you do best and either outsourcing it or getting somebody that knows what the hell they're doing to build it for you. And that's the way it goes. All right. So where are we going with this? Where do you want to go next?
So I want to go to the bar, but it's only 10:30 and I've got other calls. Okay. So quit tempting me. And it's only Monday.
Love it.
So, all right. You say people shouldn't do it on their own. So maybe there's some misnomers about what a funnel is. Could you talk about a series of landing pages I mean, is a funnel as simple as, hey, here's your free report, opt in, sign up for our birthday burrito club, and we'll send you a free coupon on your birthday? Is it that simple? Does it have to be super intricate and elegant? Do I need a different funnel for St. Patrick's Day versus 4th of July? I mean, is this just too daunting for the average person?
That's a great question. Yeah, and the answer is yes to all of that.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's break it down. Okay. So the conceptual part of a funnel is really your content strategy, or what needs to go first, second, and third. So let's look at the top of the funnel, right? It's really wide, right? And the purpose of a funnel is to qualify the right folks to get to the place where you want them to go, right? So top of the funnel is going to be some really broad information, how to, it's going to be aspirational, inspirational. You're going to really showcase your personality up there, so people get a chance to get to know who you are, or get to know what your business is all about, what it stands for. The middle of the funnel is going to be a little bit more how to. So it's, how do you do this? How do you get that? It's more of the how-to stuff. And that's where you get into teaching. That's where you get into edutainment, where you're educating them, but you're entertaining them at the same time. So that's the middle of the funnel, right? So people are going to start to say, oh yeah, I need that. I want that. And then the bottom of the funnel is really where the deal gets sealed, right? So you're putting out content like case studies. You're putting out content like testimonials. You're putting out behind the scenes content, showcasing your expertise, demonstrating your expertise, with a strong call to action at the bottom that says, I want you to do this next. All right. So you're going to disqualify 80% of the people that come into your funnel, which is smart. And you only want 20% to come in, because those are the people that are going to be qualifying themselves. Hear me out. Qualifying themselves into your product or service. That's the power of funneling.
Okay. I think I'm liking this.
Mm-hmm.
At what level does this work? Like, is the CEO of Ford going to opt in for a free report, or is this more for like B2C, or selling maybe into the SMB space?
Yeah. So this is a great point. So when we're working with clients, we don't touch funnel building or funnel architecture until we get a better understanding of who their ideal client is and the problem that this business is solving for that ideal client. Hold on one second.
Gotta talk to the kids. What is this? Are you working from home? Are we under a global pandemic? What the hell, man? I expect more. I don't know. Hey, quiet kids. Okay. I mean, it never happens to me, dude. So tighten this stuff up, man.
Listen, we did a podcast. You came on my show last week, and I had a podcast right after you. And the Viking pest control guys come for their monthly thing. And my dog, every time you ring the doorbell, goes, and it's a 60-pound pit bull. So in the middle of the interview, it sounded like somebody was getting attacked by a pit bull.
My office was downstairs at the front door. I had to move upstairs because we've always had dog. We had the biggest lab with the biggest bark. He would scare me out of my sleep 10 years after I owned this dog. It was that big of a bark. Like, holy crap, man! Trying doing a call and well.
So anyway,
all right. So we got to know the client. And we got to know the problem that we solve.
Right, and we got to understand the vehicle in which they like to consume their solutions. Okay. So to your very point, the CEO of Ford is not coming through a funnel. And to your point before, like white papers, I hate to say this, and please don't take my tone of voice as condescending. Don't, because I want to truly help you here. And I'm not talking down like I know everything. Believe me, I know a drop in a bucket compared to what some of my colleagues know when it comes to funnels. All right. So I just want to like level the playing field here. I'm not trying to sound like some East Coast tough guy who thinks he knows it all. The reason why I say pay attention to how you're trying to attract a lead is because you may be using the wrong vehicle. So if you're selling a high ticket product or service, let's say you're selling high ticket coaching, or you have a done for you service that's $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 plus. Do you think it's going to get your ideal client excited to buy a $47 widget? What problem is that $47 widget going to solve for that person that has a bigger problem, right? And is willing to pay a premium for it too. These guys and gals they want this problem to go away, right? Do you think that $47 widget's going to do it? No. So why build a funnel selling a $47 widget? You should use another mechanism, right? If you know your client better than they know themselves, and you could articulate their problems better than they can tell you, you're going to win their business. Mm-hmm. So that's sales, right? So what you do is you get them on a phone call or you get them on a Zoom as soon as possible. Now you can have this to be gated. You can have this to be a paid consult, or it could be a free consult. It's completely up to you. I don't do free anymore because I know people don't do anything with free and they don't value free. So for you to have a 45-minute conversation with me, it's a $500 investment. But what we do is we figure out where you are right now in business, where you want to be in business, and the obstacles and challenges in between that you're going to need to overcome to get you there. So they don't call me the brand doctor for nothing, Wes. I have a very systematic approach in doing it and getting the results for my clients. Step one is diagnosis. We have to diagnose and discover what is actually going on. If you had a headache and you went to the doctor and they said in 2 seconds, Wes, we're going in for brain surgery, would you not, what a brick? And you'd probably want a second and third opinion. So same here. That assessment helps with a real discovery and diagnosis, because a lot of people come to me self-diagnosed, as I'm sure a lot of people come to you and your listeners come self-diagnosed. We need a sales team. We need a better salesperson. We need this. And then when you ask a few probing questions, you realize that that's not the issue at all. Right. It could be this, right? So that's something that we do on the front end of our funnel to help qualify our clients, but make sure that we give them exactly what they want, because something's not working. Something needs to be assessed in order to break through. So over the 14 years of me doing what I do, I realized that that is the best vehicle to qualify my clients and get them solid results right up front. I know there's clients that have gotten the assessment that said, wow, you gave me such a breakthrough on this. I don't need to move forward. I can just have my team execute or whatever. But the majority of those folks say, whoa, you got me thinking differently. I have no idea that I needed that before I needed this, right. So on and so forth, right? And then we present to them different options that they can work with us. We have the Brand Accelerator, which is a 90-day done-for-you program. It's a brand development program where we build out your messaging, your funnels, your website, your identity online. It's like the whole kit and caboodle. But then we also have one-on-one consulting, which I really enjoy doing. You may have a team. You may have people to do the lever pulling for you, and you just look for somebody to help guide you in the right direction. So I have a one-on-one program that we meet once a month for 60 minutes, and you come to me with prying issues inside of whether it be messaging, whether it be funnel architecture or marketing, and we muscle through that. I have quite a few of colleagues in my space coming to me now, hiring me for consult because I'm a few exits ahead of them on the highway, right? And they want the guidance and expertise. So I'm giving you some examples here, and at the same time, I'm showcasing what we do, but I want to give you those examples because this is how you could productize your expertise and monetize your expertise in many different ways. So to answer your question, Wes, really depends on your ideal client and the problem that they're trying to solve and how they want that problem solved. Then you build the funnel around that. And then you could bet that your conversion rates are going to be a lot better and you're going to have the right people getting in front of you.
So these funnels, does it work for paid traffic? Does it work for social media, referrals? Is it all the above? Does it just depend?
It's all of the above. And you'll laugh, but I run next to nothing when it comes as far as paid advertising. I do very, very, very little paid advertising. And now with this whole Facebook and Apple war and Google's now jumping on the bandwagon and you're not going to be able to cookie people and pixel people and all of that stuff. You're in for a rude awakening for those folks that relied heavily on paid advertising. Some of the things that I've seen my colleagues, I'm in this mastermind group with a bunch of marketers and they spend, the one guy spends like 1.3 million a month in paid spend. Right. And he's pooping a brick, for lack of better words, because it's going to change his whole operation. Where for me, I do so much content marketing where I'm out there live streaming. I'm out on Clubhouse. I'm doing podcast interviews. I'm doing all this stuff without any paid traffic. It's not really affecting me too much because I am omnipresent. I am on multiple channels all day long. And I shouldn't say all day long, consistently. And that's how I'm building my tribe, my audience. And we're bringing them down the funnel. So the funnel is the rails that you want to have for your business so that people know what to do first, second, and third. Like if you go to my Instagram, for example, there is a link in my bio that says we help entrepreneurs dial in their message, optimize their funnels, and attract higher quality clients. Click here. Click on it. You're at my funnel. You're going to watch a 25-minute video of me explaining how to do this. And then there's a call to action, book a brand assessment. Let's get this party started. And it's that simple. It's a two-step funnel. That's it. And then we get on a Zoom call and then the funnel continues, but it's not on ClickFunnels anymore. It's now in person, right? So now it's, all right, now that we have your business assessed, we actually drill down and we have the actual issues that are going on inside your business and not the surface level stuff that you came to me with. Here are my recommendations. And they have options. They don't have to move forward with me, right? But they have options. Now you may have a whole new look on life and on business, and now you got the clarity and focus. So that's the funnel, right? That's the funnel. So the funnels are definitely going to help your audience get on the rails, get on the parkway that they need to get on the road that you want them on, so you can guide them down the right path. And that's why I recommend funnels for any business, big or small, on or offline. Very, very important to have that mapped out.
So you have an advantage, man. I'm on your Instagram here and you're just this beautiful, sexy beast. Okay. And I got this face made for radio. What do you have for the average and ordinary people? Like,
get out of here.
What should I do? Should I do postcards? What do you think?
You're a pisser. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you look like, but I will tell you this: the more confident you get on social media, the more business you're going to bring in. And I wish I could tell you I was this fluid and this calm and this collected when I first started. I was not. I was awful. I didn't even know how to frame myself in front of the camera. I didn't have the lighting. I didn't have the microphone. I didn't have the tech. I just kept doing it. I knew that I wanted to help people get over the obstacles of them trying to scale their business online. I wanted clients, I wanted my audience to represent the best way possible online, because I used to get looked over all the time. Believe me, when my brand was being formed and it was growing and I was trying to figure out my voice and the way I wanted to show up online, I lost a 6-figure deal because they said that I didn't look big enough. I didn't look big enough. And I was like, okay, fair enough. So I went to town and I hired a brand coach and a brand identity designer, and they redid my entire website, the messaging, everything. And we started getting bigger clients. So it is a marathon, my friends. It is not a sprint. And it is an ongoing investment. It is an ongoing investment. But I will tell you this, if you invest in your brand the right way, you may never have to rebrand it.
So when does somebody know to focus on branding? Because I've had this discussion/debate with a lot of guests. I tell a lot of my clients, especially if they're smaller or newer, to not focus on branding, to go out and prove themselves, right? Like go work, go create some results. You want to start tweaking logos and stuff instead of making some phone calls and getting some damn business.
Well, that's branding, Wes. What you told them to do is still branding.
Right. I tell them you build a brand over time by the results that you produce for your clients.
Yeah.
Right? Then you have money to go ahead and get a Super Bowl ad. But I mean, go prove you can deliver results before you go spend money on the Goodyear blimp.
Yeah. And I think let's go back 1 second and define what branding is, because it does get mixed up a lot. Like branding is not a logo. It's not a website. It's not your colors. That's brand assets. It's brand assets. Okay. Brand is the experience. Brand is the feeling. It's the emotion that people get when they interact with you. Right. So when I first met you, Wes, I was like, here is a guy from the Midwest who's no nonsense and knows his stuff when it comes to sales. And that's, as soon as you popped on my screen, that's the impression I got. That's the feeling I got. That's branding. That's branding. Right. So I share that with you because I think we get mixed up. Like when we think branding right away, we think logo and that. So it's that gut feeling people get. So to your point, Wes, when you told people don't focus on branding, go out and get your results, what you're actually telling them to do is go and create that connection, go and create that feeling. So you're telling them to go out and brand themselves, just not in the aesthetic way, just not in the asset way, right? So you still need those brand assets, but you really need to build that connection, experience, and feeling first. That's how, and that's through getting the results. That's through experience. That's through putting yourself out there. So that's the key to branding, is to really establish that stuff first. So how do you want your audience to perceive you? What should you sound like? What should you look like? What is your brand culture? Even if you're a solopreneur, you can have an internal culture, AKA the values that you live your life with, right? That's your culture, right? Because you are an offset of your brand is an offset. Your business is an offset of who you are. So I'm not exactly 100% sure on who your customer, who your audience is here, Wes, on the show, but it's probably salespeople. It's probably solopreneurs, coaches, consultants, perhaps, that are trying to build a stronger business acumen. You are your brand. Your story is your brand. you have to know how to position yourself properly. So when you go to sell a $15, $25, $80,000 service or product, they're like, okay, how do we get started? I think people have a tremendous amount of skill, knowledge, wisdom, expertise, but they just don't know how to position it properly. Mm-hmm. And for me, that's wasted talent. And the saddest thing in life is wasted talent.
Yeah, and it does matter. I mean, the image matters. I've closed deals. I tell people time kills deals, right? And it's in the beginning, if you're too slow getting back to someone, you can kill it. But conversely, once you've got a good prospect in the funnel, you need to take your time with them.
Sure.
And I remember a couple of years ago, I was working with a client, a prospect, and for me, it was an easy gig. But the more I learned about them, they were a multi-million-dollar subsidiary of a billion-dollar corporation. And if I priced it too low, I knew they would think I wasn't good enough. Right. So I more than doubled my price, and they took it without batting an eye. Like, right. I should have tripled or quadrupled it, but bigger companies, and it's like the old Supreme Court thing when they were talking about pornography, right? And they were like, I don't know how to define it, but I know it when I see it.
Yep.
Right. There's quality that we just feel it in our bones, right? I mean, how do you pull that out of someone and help them portray that?
So how do you help them position themselves?
Yeah. Like how do you have a proprietary system, or is it just experience? Like when you're working with a client, say, hey, I'm going to take you from grade school to, putting you out there with advanced degree for the world, right? They're going to see you and know you're a legit player in the space, right? How do you help them convey that message?
That's awesome. So part of the strategy part of the Brand Accelerator program, we take our clients through a founder profile, okay? Because I want to get a better understanding of who they are, right? So one of the questions that I ask is, how would you describe what it is that you do? And the next question I would ask is, what got you into this line of business in the first place? And then the third question I would say is, what higher mission are you on? Right? We're working with a client right now that their higher mission, it's a woman-based business. So their higher mission is equality and diversity. Okay? They want to give their clients the comfort and courage to go on and make the world a better place. So this is the purpose. And then what is the uniqueness of the business? So here's a few questions. One is, what makes your business different from everybody else? Then the next question is,
a lot of people can't answer that question.
I know. It's a very, very tough question. It's a very, very tough question. I've gotten mine down to a pat. So if you were to ask me what makes me different from everybody else that does branding or funnels, well, I bridge the gap between branding and direct response marketing. Nobody really does that as good as me. And that's what makes me unique. Because it's always one or the other. You get a really great direct response person, or you get a really deep branding person, but you don't have the both. That is like forget it. That is my secret weapon, which is now no longer secret, but that's it. But that's what you want to tell the world. That's what's going to make you unique. That's what's going to drive them to you. But the next question is, well, how do you do that? Well, we do that through the Brand Accelerator program, because we take you through the thorough brand strategy and the marketing strategy. And then we also build it all out for you too, through funnel building, through website design and brand design, right? So that's that. The next question is, why should somebody believe that? Why should somebody believe that? Well, how are you demonstrating this, right? Then the next question is, what makes you credible? That's the next question, is what makes you credible? Is it your client base? Is it your experience? What is it? And then lastly is, how does this impact your credibility? How does this impact your credibility? And then from there, we want to get into competitor profiles. We want to look at whose clients do we want more of? Why do we want those folks? What is your competitor doing to earn those clients? And what could they be doing better? AKA, what are we going to be doing to fill that gap? And then, who are their customers and why aren't they buying from you? So that is just a drop in the bucket to what we do with our clients to help them get the clarity and focus they need to go on and develop the brand and marketing strategy they need to build the right funnels, to build the right brand message, to build the right online presence, to get those right folks coming in to their business.
So when you're working with a new client, how often are you like redoing a website versus pulling this messaging out and working on the funnels kind of behind the scenes, or like, you know, the old interior pages, you know, off of the main website?
Yeah. So most clients, when they come on board the Brand Accelerator program, they're 9 times out of 10 going to go through a rebrand process. So they're either going into a new market segment, they're irrelevant, their messaging is no longer relevant, their online presence doesn't really represent what it is that they do. They're just not getting traction because people are just ignoring the offers and ignoring, they're not getting the conversions. So there's a branding issue here. There's a branding issue here. If people aren't resonating with your message, that's a branding issue, right? So 9 times out of 10, we got to go back to the drawing board and go into a brand strategy. And then from there, figure out, okay, looks like we're going to have to redo the website. Looks like we're going to have to reconsider our content strategy, our social media strategy, etc. So that's a typical, so it's not like we're going in and changing one page of a website, or we're tweaking a funnel. The common issue is, whoa, there's a way bigger problem here, and we need surgery. This isn't a Band-Aid. This isn't a, wrap it up and call me in 3 weeks type of thing. We're going in for surgery, but before we go in for surgery, we're going to make sure that we do the proper prep. And so we have the right tools we need to get you the results that you're looking for. So it's a lot of times we're doing a big overhaul. It's not just one thing.
Do people come into you too desperate sometimes and you can't help them?
Yes. And I wouldn't take that work on because I want a confident client. I want a confident client. I was just talking about this when you're productizing your thinking and you're building your product library out, right? I'll give you a quick example, Wes. Found somebody on social media and they sounded like they knew what they were doing. They looked like they knew what they were doing. So I got them on a Zoom call and I said, here is my challenge. What does it look like to work with you? And here's what they said. You ready? Well, we work kind of like in a couple different ways. I'm using the words that they were using verbatim. We usually we could work on a one-on-one consult basis if you want, or we could work by project. Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, I would have to get back to you on that because I don't know. Are you confident in hiring that person? Are you? Does that get you all warm and fuzzy? Like they're gonna solve your problem? right?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's flip the script. Let's go and that's branding right there. That's poor branding because they're not prepared and they're not delivering a feeling of confidence. So now let's redo this. Now you come to somebody who looks like they know what they're doing, sounds like they know what they're doing, and you get on a Zoom call and you say, well, what does it look like to work with you? Well, we work in 3 steps. It's diagnosis first, we strategize second, and then we actually apply all of that strategy in a 90-day program called the Brand Accelerator Program. And we handle your marketing strategy, your branding strategy, your marketing strategy, and we actually do all the heavy lifting for you. We build your website, we do your logo, we do your brand color scheme, we do your funnels, we do all of that in a very systematic, proprietary process. And all you have to do is show up to the strategy sessions that you and I are going to do together. It's 6 Zoom calls, all recorded, 90 minutes or less. And we walk you through the strategic process first, and then we go and build. Now, how do you feel about that experience? Whoa. Okay, so you got this dialed in. You've been doing this a while. You got a process. And then I could share screen and show them my Basecamp platform, which is my project management platform where we manage the success of every project. And we show them phase 1 and all the line items. We show them phase 2. We show them phase 3. And then we tell them, as soon as we check all these off, we're done with the project. Now, the framework is solid, but it's not a cookie cutter approach because no 2 brands or businesses are the same. So I have my framework and process nailed down, but the beauty of what I do, and which is why I love what I do, is it's unique to every business that comes in the program. So it's never the same. And that's a blessing. That is such a blessing. So, and I just love working one-on-one with people. I mean, I just love people. And then I love to see all that thinking come into fruition and actually become something tangible, like a website, like a logo, like an identity online, right? So that's the beauty of the program. So just getting back to the point, your brand is everything because it's the feeling that people get before they pull out their credit card and buy from you. So who are you going to buy from? The person who's super confident in what it is that they're selling, that has this structure, or somebody that's giving you fluffy answers and you feel it in your gut that this person doesn't know what the hell they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Scary stuff. We've all been there. That's why I said I want to work with people that are confident in who they're hiring, because you got to hire who you trust and you got to trust who you hire. Mm-hmm. So if you come in with a lack of confidence and you're on your last buck, not the client for me. Not the client for me.
Like I say, you can't save every puppy in the pound.
Nope. That's a great point.
How do you know that your marketing is going to grow sales? Because a lot of folks, they have good marketing, but they have crappy sales. You throw the meat over the fence. Say, I'm going back out hunting, and you come back and it's just spoiled meat. I don't know how to skin a deer or cook. So what? Right? Because you gotta. Do you help them with sales too, or do you just make sure they can sell before you take them on?
Well, when they come through the process, they're going to realize that there's going to be some sales coaching involved, because at the end of the day, Wes, I don't want to build something pretty for them. I want to build something that's functional, that's going to actually convert. Right. So they're going to get a crash course in value-based pricing and positioning really, really quick, because that is going to help them position them to sell high ticket. See, I like working with folks that want to sell a high ticket product or service, because it's going to blow out your margins, meaning in a good way. You're going to have way higher margins, and you're going to get your time back. You're going to get your time back. You're not going to have to work with as many people. We were working with a client in Canada who was charging $250 an hour, and she's been doing this for 20 years. And she just loaded her calendar up because she couldn't afford not to book those consults, right? So I said, what if you did away with all of that and came up with a 15K program and a 25K program and just eliminated that rat race? She says, well, my brand I'm not confident in the way it looks. I'm not confident in the way it feels. I said, we'll take care of that. But let's rewire your thinking. How many clients will you need to make $1 million if you're selling $10,000 and $25,000 programs? Well, like half. Okay. Now we're on the right track. So now we go into application funnels. We go into really positioning herself as the subject matter expert. She's been doing this for 20 years. Mm-hmm. She deserves way more than $250 an hour. So
crazy, huh?
It's crazy. And you know what's funny, Wes? I went through that for many, many years myself. It took me a decade, Wes, for me to finally realize the value that I was delivering. Russell Brunson, when I was working with him, he said, Henry, I would never be able to do this without you. Look at what you do. You know, you dial in my messaging, which is the hardest part, but you also make it look premium. Like, you're so important. What are you doing selling logos for $50? Right? And I'm like, and to your point before, Wes, when you sell too low, you just cut yourself right out of the competition because the person's like, well, how good could it be? It's $100. Mm-hmm. Right? So very, very important. So I think the initial question was, how do you know the marketing is going to work? And how do you know the marketing is going to convert into a sale? You don't, first of all. I would never say that I could guarantee that. But what I can say is authenticity, transparency, and demonstration of expertise. Mm-hmm. When you leverage that for your marketing, you got a really high chance of closing more deals.
Right. All right, man. I know you got to get on to your next thing. I'm linking to your business. So it's Unique Designs with a Z, uniquedesigns.net. You've got a book of brand assessments. You've got some videos. I mean, you're like a super sexy pit bull.
I get that a lot, dude.
Seeing this, man,
especially in Miami. Forget it. They're like beeping their horns and like they, especially if I wear big sunglasses. Forget it. But it's fun. It's fun. It's fun.
And I see, you got this kind of like almost pink, kind of purplish. I mean, you're in touch with your feminine side. So it's a very confident man to do that. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to just hop in here and get in your funnel.
Let's do it, man. I would love to have you come in my funnel. Yeah, no, purple is a great color. It's a color of royalty. It's the color of luxury. And I grew up a very humble person. My father raised me by himself. We worked 4 jobs and we always had the bare minimum. We never, we didn't have the fancy stuff, but we did have a lot of integrity. We did have a lot of great work ethic, and he taught me what it was to work hard. And I said to myself, when I am of age to make my own money and to create a business and to create something of my own, I want to enjoy the finer things in life. And I'm able to do that now. And I think that's where the purple color comes into play, because it is royalty. It is loyalty. It's premium. It's luxury. And that's what I'm into. And I know a lot of my clients, they're at that level where, they want to scale up into that lifestyle, right? Or they're there and they want to polish it all up because they've gotten to where they're at because that's all they know. Right. And they just got it there by luck and sheer grit. Now they want it to come more systematic. They want it to be more fit. They want it to be more fitting. Mm-hmm. And that's why they come. So that's why they align with that color scheme. And like you said, it takes a certain individual to pull those colors off, and I can.
You're doing it, brother. Very nice.
Awesome stuff, Wes. Thanks for having me again. It's always a pleasure chatting with you.
Man, great to see you. So again, uniquedesigns.net. Go hit up Henry and then come see me in Cali, man. I'm too much of a wimp, man. I'm scared of TSA like probing me and stuff. So I need you to come see me. All right.
Do you like wine?
You know, I drink wine. I don't know if I like it. I guess it depends. I mean, I'm more of a bourbon guy and beer, but hey, if you're buying, I'll drink it.
What's your favorite scotch?
And we have like 43 wineries right here. So
I know, that's why I ask.
Yeah.
Well, what's your favorite scotch?
Oh, scotch. That's a good question. I've got a Dalmore over there that's pretty good. I've been enjoying Oban. Pretty good. I drink more bourbons than scotch, but I got several good scotches. I got a nice Glenmorangie there.
Nice.
A little bit everything, man. How about you?
When I come out, you definitely got to get me leveled up on my bourbon game. I'm not a big bourbon guy, but I don't mind it. But it's got to be good. But I'm a Macallan guy, man. I like my Macallan 18. I like
hard to go wrong with Macallan,
right? I like my Johnny Blue. And you know, I stick with the real smooth stuff, because you know, with scotch, this is my experience. If you go, and this may be a good business lesson too, but if you go with the cheap stuff, you're gonna feel it a lot harder than if you go with the more expensive distilled stuff. That's
any spirit, yes,
right?
Distilled spirit, but I mean, scotches are so different because you can get like one of those peaty, like I've got a Lafroig, and man, when you open that, and then when you sip it, you remember playing football in the backyard in like 5th grade, in the rain, and it's muddy, and you get tackled, and they knock the wind out of you at the same time. So you hit the mud with your mouth wide open, and you think you're going to suffocate from mud and grass and sweat and tears, and you come up like chewing and spitting and coughing. Yeah, that's Lafroig.
Yeah, we're not playing with that stuff. That's on my hit list. That stuff, forget it.
Ooh, my goodness. But when you learn their history, there's like 8 distilleries. I think it's 8. On this island of Islay with a population of 2,500 people. So I'm like, those are my people. They just live to make scotch.
I love it. I love it.
So I am going to go see them soon.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Well, Wes, thanks for having me, dude.
All right.
It's always a pleasure. Let me know when this launches. I'll promote it all over the place. And, thanks again for letting me share my message, and hopefully we helped a few people today.
Amen.
You know, get a little bit more clarity on branding and funnels, and you know, the proper way to come into the world, because there's a lot of people coming into the funnel world that aren't educated, or they come in hot because they think, oh, the funnel's going to save the day, and they realize after 10, 15, 20 grand that, oh crap, I should have done this the right way first. So I just want to say, you know, be careful. Don't, you know, crawl before you walk when it comes to this stuff, because there's a lot of people out there that want to just take your money, and then you're not happy with the result. So, you know, like I said, trust who you hire who you trust, and be all right.
They're everywhere. All right. Henry Kaminsky Jr. from Jersey.
Right,
thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks, man.
I love it. I love these straight shooters. Funnels are played out for those seeking get rich quick schemes. Amen. And yeah, funnels do get a bad rap to a degree. And hey, I contribute to that bad rap at times because the connotation has just kind of taken on a life of its own. But in reality, everything's a funnel, right? When you have a business, you have a pipeline, you have sales stages, you do your branding and your marketing, you're casting a wide net. Okay, that's what a funnel does, right? You got a big wide opening, and it narrows down to get into the target, into the area that you want them to be in. So, but, marketers ruin everything, like Seth Godin says. So I like what he's getting into here. Your content strategy. I mean, I built my business on content. I was doing content before it was cool. I've repurposed it, taken newsletters, turned them into blog posts, turned blog posts into a book, turned the book into a speech, turn it into audio, constantly repurposing, updating it, update the blogs from an SEO standpoint. I'm cross-referencing, cross-linking. So have good content, but how content has evolved is interesting. 12 years ago, 13 years ago, and beyond. I mean, 06, 07, I was starting this. I was blogging regularly by late 08, early 09. Started my first podcast in 2009. But, way back then, what content that got ranked was like almost daily content, 300 to 500 words, right? But it was fresh. Search engines wanted to see that hot topic. It's evolved now. It's the long form content that's working now. 1,500 words, 2,000 words, 2,500 words. I was just telling my son in real estate, it's like work on making 12 great posts, one a week. So at the end of 12 weeks, that's a quarter, right? 3 months. By the time he's done, over 3 months, he's going to be a better writer. He's going to be a better real estate agent. And the industry will have changed. So go back to the first one. Now take a month and update that first one. Make it even better. Cross-reference, do links internally to the other 11 podcasts or blog posts. Then update that and re-release it. Now, maybe do a video about that. Chop it up, and they become social media nuggets. But now you have another month to go back and work on the second one. And you can see what happens there. Now, he has 12 epic blog posts that just are updated. And there's not all that much that can really ever change, right? Once you've got your core topics, how, what to look for in a buyer's agent, what to look for in a listing agent, how to remodel your home, where to focus on your home, should you get a pool, how do interest rates affect me, how to improve your credit, so whatever. So then you just keep updating those. And look, there are plenty of people out there with content just like that. Not 1,000, not 1,000,000, 12, 20, maybe 50. But now we can turn that into YouTube videos. Again, social media posts, PowerPoint, or presentations. So, but do you know your topic well enough? All right, maybe you don't. But you start writing like that, you put yourself under the gun, you'll get better. And look, here's the deal. If you have very thin content, if you have thin traffic, who's going to really see that first blog post you make, or the second or the third? So you're going to get better as you go. All right, but you got to start. So as you get better, you're going to be more motivated to go back and refresh the past ones. Okay? So in my analytics, I can see them. I've got a big website. It's old, right? Going back to 2006, I've had this domain. So I've got posts that haven't been looked at, haven't been visited in 90 days or even a year. So I go back and I kill some of those off, or I'll find 2 or 3 or 10. A couple of years ago, I took 11 or 13 posts. I forget the exact number, but it was double digits, all on social media. And I made one epic blog post, updated all of that, I deleted some of it. But now instead of you searching for 12, 13, posts with, some of them only had 200 or 300 words. I mean, they were just nothing. But hey, 10 years ago, I was a different writer. 10 years ago, social media was different. So now I just have to update that once a year. Okay, so look, I'm not telling you things I'm reading in books. I'm telling you things I'm doing that are working. So But I like what he's getting at here. If there's no call to action, then no action will be taken. So have a strong CTA. Demonstrate your experience, your expertise. So a lot of good stuff, a lot of good tips in here. So if you have questions, you want to talk about it, hit me up. If you're looking for some private, one-on-one coaching, I do that. The Sell More of Everything program, sellmoreofeverything.com. It's super affordable. Every Monday we're on a call. All of the on-demand content is there. You can ask questions at any time, and you can ask them in person, face-to-face via video every Monday. Okay? sellmoreofeverything.com. Thanks for listening. Now go sell something.